all the buyers. Put it into the.
Thank you very much, Donna. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jack Barry. I am a licensed realtor, and I have been since 2007. Got my real estate license just in time for the world economic crash to happen, because that's how smart I am. Before, just a real quick bio for me. I was in hospitality. I lived in Philadelphia. I was born in 62, lived there until now I only live there part-time. I'm in Florida as I am right now. So lived there for 61 years. 26 of those years I was in restaurants, hospitality. I owned a bar, a restaurant. That did not make me crazy enough. So I decided to get a real estate license and make myself even more insane. And I've loved every single day of it, except the days that I didn't. I tell people that I love everything. Real estate is a buffet for me. There's so many different aspects of things that I could do. I could just do residential, I could do commercial, I could do short-term rental, I can do investors, I can do alternative financing. There's a whole buffet of things that I can do to make money at. The only thing I don't, and I kid, this is a joke. I say the only thing I don't like about real estate are buyers and sellers. They're the only thing that like get in the way of me making a lot of money. And that is a joke. So got my real estate license in 2007. And I thought that because I had purchased 3 investment properties that I knew more than anybody else, so I wouldn't listen to anybody else, and I didn't get a mentor or a coach, and I just decided to go on my own. I honestly got my real estate license because I wanted to be my own boss and I wanted to set my own hours, which turned out to be the 2 worst reasons for someone like me who thinks they're smarter than everybody else. I need to be told what to do and when to do it. So after a few months, my mentor, it was Mickey Pasquarella. He still is. He tells me, don't tell anybody that I'm your mentor. But he said, this isn't working. You should go back to being a bartender because you're not going to make a go of this. You refuse to do what needs to be done. You have no consistency. You have no calendar. You're not following any models or systems. You're just doing whatever you want. So I reported him to the real estate board commission for being mean. And they were like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. So I had to make a decision. Like, was I going to go, which way was I going to go? You know, I was at that intersection of fear and desperation. It wasn't working. So I had to admit that I was not doing what I needed to do. And so I went all in, and then things changed. My first year in real estate, I made $41,000. Second year, made $96,000. And I followed a system that says you should double every 5 years. And that's pretty much what happened. Now today, I have a real estate team in Philadelphia that's still operating very well. I'm building a real estate team in Florida, in South Florida, Sarasota, Venice. That's coming along very well. It's a totally different market here, totally different contracts, everything. So I'm starting brand new here. The only upside to here is that it's 72% cash buy. No one's talking about mortgages. No one's talking about appraisals. No one's talking about interest rates, anything like that. Totally different here. That does not make it easier. It just makes it different. And then I have a consulting business. I do a lot of wholesaling, and I'm a lead generator for other agents that that don't want to or don't know how to lead generate. And we have a referral business. So I keep very, very busy in real estate. I host a lot of masterminds where people come together on a regular basis and exchange ideas, because what's working, see, I have real estate glasses on and I see everything through the lens of a realtor or a real estate developer. But that's not how the world works. There's a whole bunch of different ways to go on. So I'll put groups of people together that have nothing to do with real estate sales. And I get a different perspective from that. And that keeps my mind in curiosity, and it keeps me learning new things and new ideas. This buyer consultation that we're going to do today is one that I was taught in about 2013 or 2014. I was a solo realtor until 2013, and I decided to build a team because I decided that I did not want to spend the rest of my career showing houses and going on listing appointments and buyer representation things. That was just not the highest and best use of my time. And so I had to start a team, and that was very painful, and it's a process again, but it took a while to get to the right people, and we did, because we employ the DISC assessment. It's a personality assessment, like Myers-Briggs, along those lines, and that has been very, very useful in my life. We do it. I do a lot of them so that I can very quickly ascertain who is sitting in front of me and how they absorb information, and then I can modify my behavior so that they can understand what I'm saying in a way that they receive the information. So I tell people that real estate is the actual property itself. Let's say 121 Snyder Avenue is just the widget. My business is about the relationship with my people. If I'm just buying and selling houses, I'm going to be doing that for a very long time. And I've just created a job. I haven't created a business or a career. I'm just going to be buying and selling houses for people forever. And that's not what I wanted to do, because you're looking at phone calls at 8 o'clock at night and showings on the holiday and New Year's Day and the Super Bowl and all these things that I really don't want to do. So when we meet new people, we tell them what we do through a story and through anecdotes of what happened to us before, which is what got us here today. I am not, all of my success, any success that I have today is totally based on my failures and all the things that did not work for me. And then I went, okay, why are we not going to do that again? How are we not going to do that again? And then we got a system and a model. I talked to some other people, and we figured out why we're not going to do that. Again, I say I'm not smarter than anybody else, okay? I went to Community College of Philadelphia for 7 years. I almost graduated. This is not about aptitude. It's about awareness. It's about knowing who I am, where I am. And once I established my value, I stopped giving people discounts, because I know who I am and what I'm worth. Until I know that, I keep giving people discounts. I keep letting crazy people into my life. I have a very significant mother. I keep letting her into my life, like she's over there, and she's in my life on my terms, not on her terms today. And we have a great relationship today, but it took a lot to get there. And a lot of it was through the DISC. So I don't want people in our industry to spend time on the widget, on the house. That is simply a small part of the relationship that I have in this case, with the buyer. I want to be able to help people build a business, not just a job. And the best way to start doing that is to practice. Most people are afraid to even ask people for business. They're certainly afraid to cold call. And we have found that the reason they're afraid to cold call is because they don't know what to say. And one, they don't know what to say. And two, they're afraid that if someone says yes, they won't know what to do. If they say, okay, yes, I want to buy a house, then they're even more afraid because they don't know what to say. So I am a huge proponent of script practicing, role playing, we call it now, with somebody else. And I role play still. I'm in this business 17 years. I role play 4 days a week, 4 mornings a week, 15 minutes. I role play. And the cast of characters changes all the time because some people fall off. But I have one guy that I've been role playing with since 2017. And our calls are not, oh, how's the weather? It's, hey, Mr. Fizbo, are you paying a commission if you sell that house? If I bring a buyer, will you pay a commission? Yes, great, thanks. And I hang up. I call him back 2 days later. Now he's curious. Why'd that guy call me and hang up? All these things I learned from talking to other people, other realtors. And I learned all that from going to GPAR and PAR, Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, NAR, National. I was just in National in Boston 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. I learned from all these other people that are at my fingertips. We're all here. You don't have to go too far to find some help. So please practice. Find a script, find a role play partner. You don't even have to like them. They just need to be, all right, you're going to be the prospective buyer today. You're going to be the prospective listing today. And I'm just going to call and practice. And you can find scripts anywhere. That, of course, is another whole session. I always get sidetracked on that because that's a lead generation system session webinar that we do. And I do have to tell you about these 3 books that have changed my life and the way that I look at it. And they've given me the confidence to be able to have these conversations, have these buyer expectations conversations. The first is this is all going to be put in the chat, or Don, we'll send it to Don, and she's going to send everything that I'm talking about today. It's on a 1 sheet. Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. This book is amazing. And her first tenet, the first belief that Susan Scott has is that the most important issue in every single relationship is that which is not being spoken about. And that kind of stops a lot of people right there, because a lot of people will dance around. The buyers aren't telling you exactly everything. The sellers aren't telling you everything. And if you can't get to honesty and trust, there's no relationship. So the first tenet, the most important issue is that which is not being spoken about. The second tenet is, what are you pretending not to know about this person, place, thing, transaction? We had somebody yesterday, one of our guys down here, come in with this deal. He's in the middle of the deal. The inspection's blowing up. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, what are you pretending not to know about this buyer? Well, the first day I knew they were late. They wouldn't money up. They wouldn't proof of funds. They wouldn't. I'm like, oh, so they're problem people. You decided to continue doing it. You decided to stay in a relationship with them, and you're surprised today about where we're at? Like, you can't be surprised. Let's take that off. You can't keep saying, I don't know what's happening. You do know what's happening. You allowed it to happen. You told them how to treat you, that it was okay. You told them that it was okay to not call you back, to not return your phone calls. And now the other side's threatening a lawsuit. You can't say, I didn't see this coming. That's not honest. So Fierce Conversations, read the book. It's a hard book to read. It's not easy. There's a lot of things that this doesn't just deal with real estate. It deals with life, and a lot of people don't like it. The second book is Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. I love this book, and he actually has a new one, and it's Exactly What to Say for Realtors. So again, all these links will be on their 1 sheet. And then Simon Sinek, Start with Why. If I don't know why I'm doing this, if I don't know why I'm doing real estate, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. I'm just creating something for me to do, a job. And I don't want that. That's not what I got into real estate for. Okay, so let's frame this. This buyer consultation, like I said, we've been doing this for about 8 years, and this way. And we have now, I think we're 92% people, they sign the buyer representation at this meeting. What has happened before this meeting, before we've met with them face to face, and it's not always me, right? Almost never me in Philadelphia. It's one of my people on the team. They have already pre-qualified, and they've sent us their pre-qualification before we meet with them face to face. We don't meet with people about real estate unless they're pre-qualified. We just don't do it. We got burned so many times. So they've already been pre-qualified, or mortgage pre-qualified, or they showed us a bank statement or something that shows that they have the funds to buy what they say they want to buy. We got burned so many times with this. It's not happening. They're not serious enough to deal with us. If they want to deal with somebody else, that's great. And the reason, let me just tell you one thing that happened to me. I had my very first buyer that I showed 96 houses to, my first buyer. And everything, she told us she did not want a swimming. She was coming from the Midwest, so she didn't know the Philadelphia housing stock. She said, no swimming pool. I don't want an in-ground pool, and I don't want a fireplace. Well, in-ground pool in Philadelphia is hard to come by. Fireplace, a little more common, but not very. A working fireplace. I do not want them. This woman bought a house with a fireplace and an in-ground pool, which is the 96th house that we showed her, because I didn't do my homework up front. I didn't ask the questions that we're going to ask here today. So I don't want that to happen to you. Showing houses is not a sign of your value. That's a door opener. So anyone can do that. I showed it. I wrote an offer last night on a house in Philadelphia, and I had an agent did the showing. And my people are like, yeah, he was nice. I forget his name. Let's write the offer. They don't care. Me being there is not my value. If my value proposition is me in person, I've messed up big time. I do not go to Walmart and expect Sam Walton to be there. I don't go to KFC and expect the Colonel to be making my chicken. It's simply not how it works. Not for me. Again, this may not work for you. You might only get one little tiny thing out of this today. That's okay. You don't have to do everything the way that this goes, the way that I say it today. All right, who wants to be my buyer? Who wants to be the buyer for today? I need one volunteer. Anybody?
I'll do it. Steve Styles.
Who's that? Steven Stiles?
Yes, sir.
You're freeze frame.
Can you hear me? I'm free.
I can hear you. Okay. You're going to be a buyer. This is a first-time home buyer, Stephen, right?
Yes, sir.
Just to set it in your mind, you've already pre-qualified. You sent that to us. And now you've just come into our office. Ready?
Yes.
Action. Stephen, how are you doing? My name is Jack Barry. Welcome to our office. Did you have any problem finding us today?
Nope. I use Google Maps.
Excellent. Oh, Google Maps. We love it. Well, come on in. You want coffee, water, anything like that?
Bottled water.
Bottle of water. Okay. We have that already in the room. Come in, sit down. Nice, nice. All right, Stephen, let me tell you what's going to happen today, just to give you a guide so you know how this is going to work out. We are going to explain the buyer process, how to buy a home in Philadelphia. We're going to explain how we work, how the Jack Barry Group works in helping you do that. And at the end of today, one of three things are going to happen. One, you are going to decide to work with us and sign the buyer representation agreement. Two, you're going to decide not to work with us and not sign the buyer representation agreement. Or three, we are going to decide not to work with you because we can't help you. Any questions about those?
No.
Excellent. Next, we are going, now, let me tell you, pause. Probably at least half of the people in this conversation, somewhere right after we end that paragraph, if you will go, wait a minute. Number three, what does that mean? You'll decide not to work with us. What does that mean? In sales, that's called the takeaway. I'm going to make them prove to me that they're serious about this.
Okay. That's why I paused when you said because I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean you're not going to work with me?
Yes.
you did stick me there. I'm like, what are you talking about? I came in here.
I'm glad you asked that question, Stephen. We have helped over 450 people buy a house. We know what we're doing. We know what our value is. We know how to do it. More importantly, we know what not to do. When someone hires us to help them, we're not telling you there's never going to be any problems. What our value is that we're going to provide the solution to those problems, and we're going to provide those solutions quickly. What is not going to happen is you may want to go look at 100 homes before you make an offer. That's not how real estate works today. That's how my grandmother bought real estate. Today, with the internet and Zillow and Trulia and all the things that you have the same exact information as I do for the availability of homes on the market. 9 times out of 10, our buyers send us the home and go, this is it. This is the one. It's very, very rare today that I go, hey, Stephen, oh my God, look at this. 1491 Main Street, right in the middle of Manayunk, is on the market. It's very, very rare. People are just looking at stuff all the time. So we're not going to look at 100 homes. What we also have found is a big failure rate in the purchase of a home is people who we get under contract, we finally get the house, we like it, and they go, oh, I'm bringing my father to the inspection. We don't do that. We don't get under contract and allow you to wait for your mom to fly in from Ohio to take a walk through the property, because we only deal with adults. We do not deal with children. Would you consider yourself an adult or a child, Stephen?
It depends on if I'm playing with my kids, but mostly an adult.
For the house buying purpose, you're an adult.
I'm an adult. Yes.
Yes. We're also not going to make $100,000 offers on $400,000 properties because we watched a YouTube or some video series and watched something on HGTV, how that works. That is not reality. They're scripted television shows. They're scripted YouTube channels. Reality is The market, we are going to show you what the market is, what the average sale price is, average days on market, what the sale price to list price ratio is to see how far and how close we can be. How well are we going to be at making an offer that gets accepted? These are all the things that we have found that work for us. And they are definitely things that we are not going to do in this relationship, because what will happen is we will be in a very long relationship before you get to your goal, which is to buy a house. And we don't want that to happen. Any questions so far, Stephen?
No.
Excellent. We also, because we are so busy, we only work with A buyers, A in quotation marks. And an A buyer is someone who is ready, willing, and able to make an offer on a property today, right? You're already pre-qualified. You don't have to wait for a job offer. You're here, you're ready to move out of your apartment, your lease is up or soon, and you're ready to go buy an apartment. We're ready to go buy a house, and we can make an offer today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. A B buyer is someone who's ready, willing, but not able. So they're waiting for a job offer, an inheritance, a divorce, a death, somebody to die in the nursing home, all these things that we hear of. They're ready, willing, but not able. We can't spend time with the B buyers because we would be ignoring the A buyers. And that would not be fair to anybody. And then C buyer is everybody else that's not ready, willing, and able. And so I'm going to pause this interview right now, because this is what happens, people. My team consistently gets emails that go, Jack, I just became an A buyer, because we're telling them who they are, and then to tell us when they get ready to work with us. Again, this is teaching people how to treat you. It's not hard. Most people want to be told what to do. They might not like it in the beginning, but they really do. So we asked them, so Stephen, you consider yourself an A buyer today?
I do, but I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know how much home I can afford.
Well, that will pause, cut, scene. We would not be meeting today. I would not be meeting with any prospect until they were pre-qualified. So we would already know that. You wouldn't have gotten to this meeting without your pre-qualification letter sent to us.
Okay.
And the pre-qual tells you how much you can afford.
Because I do hear that. I don't know how much home I can afford even after they're pre-qualified. They're like, I don't know how much I can afford. So, but that's a good response. Yeah.
The only time that I touch on that is we encourage, especially first-time buyers, to not be attached to the number. I'm approved for 400,000, but be attached to the payment, the monthly payment. What are you going to be comfortable with? Because you might be able to afford a $400,000 house, but with a $2,600 a month mortgage payment, they're two different things, especially for first-time buyers that don't understand mortgage and taxes, HOA, whatever, parking. If they bring that up, and usually I give people 2 or 3 mortgage people to talk to. I have a conversation with the mortgage person also before we meet with them. The same way as a listing agent, I talk to the mortgage person before I talk to anybody else. If you send me an offer for a house, I call the mortgage people right away. First call I make before the agent, I call the mortgage. I want to make sure this is a good, qualified prospect in front of me.
So if they're worried about, okay, I'm pre-qualified for 400, but I don't know, and I guess I worded it poorly. I don't know that I can afford the mortgage payment. How do you address that?
On 400. So we're probably going to stay away from condos, because you really could probably only afford a $325,000 condo because of the HOA fee, the monthly fee that would bring that payment number closer to 400,000. Is a condo something that you'd be interested in?
No.
Okay, good. So we'll stay in single family homes. Do you have a neighborhood in mind, Stephen, where you want to live?
No, I want the best bang for my buck.
How about, is school an issue? Close to a school?
It is, but we can find schools outside of the district if that's a possibility.
What would be if we drew a pyramid on a piece of paper, At the top of the pyramid, what would be the most important thing in buying a house for you?
The number of bedrooms and baths.
Good. What would number 2 be?
The amount of acreage.
You want land.
Yes.
And number 3?
See number 1.
We tell people in the pyramid, there are 3 points. We can always get you to. It's very rare we can't get you to. Number 3 might be negotiable. It might take on a different version of what that looks like to you. So some people might say, I need a 2-car garage. I need a basement. I need a deck.
Basement. So
Yeah.
answer to the basement. Finished, preferably finished.
Yep. We will definitely get you to the 3rd one. That may depend on the price. And we're going to show you all the houses in the category that have all the things that you want first, as close to that price as possible. And then we'll start breaking down what it is that we show you and go, all right, here's everything without a basement. Here's everything with a basement. Here's everything under 400 with A, B, and C. Here's everything under 400 with A and B. Now you have more options. And when I have high options, I have low fear. When I have low options, I have high fear. That's for a client that's looking at houses. That's for a realtor that's looking at clients. If you don't have a lot of clients, you live in a high fear. You have a lot of payments due, a lot. Now, do you have any idea about the Philadelphia market? What's happening in real estate in the Philadelphia market, Stephen?
They're doing a lot more rentals, it looks like, than home construction, primary residence home construction.
Yeah. So we keep track of the market. That's one of our jobs, to be an economist of the market. I looked at Philadelphia this morning, and we do a weekly snapshot. We do it for specific neighborhoods, but overall, I looked at Philadelphia this morning. So from 11/11 to 11/17, Sunday to Sunday, 461 new homes came on the market in a week. 24 coming soon, which means they're not on the market yet, but they will be soon. You may or may not see those homes on Zillow. 144 properties went under agreement last week in Philadelphia. So 144 people went under contract to buy a home. 238 properties sold. That's kind of a lagging number. That's a lagging indicator because they could have been under agreement anywhere from 20 to 200 days. A very big indicator, though, is something that we call CEW, canceled, expired, and withdrawn. And last week, 196 properties came off the market in Philadelphia without going under agreement or closing. And there's a reason for that. And one of those reasons might be one of the properties that you want to buy. And we keep in very close contact with those people, very close contact, because they've already said they wanted to sell the house. They're already halfway there. They said they wanted to sell. For some reason, they pulled it off. Now, maybe they're not going to sell it anymore. Maybe they didn't get their price. Maybe they had a bad realtor. Maybe they had bad experience. We can help those people, and we can expose that property to you. Your homework that we give to you for now, Stephen, is to try and nail down what neighborhoods you want to go, you definitely want to be in. If you can't do that, then we tell people to exclude neighborhoods and say, no, that's too far out. That's too close to the airport. That's too close to the water. Some people too close to the highway, living in the middle of the city. I don't want all that, all the traffic. Give us a list of things that you don't want to do. Disqualified neighborhoods. We want you. My goal is to put you in a house where every day you put the key in the door, you go, I am so glad we brought this house. I am so glad we brought this house. I don't want you to put the key in the door and go, oh my God, $1,900 a month. How am I going to do this? I don't want that. We don't want you to do that. We want you to really love the house that you buy. We're going to prevent you from making really big mistakes. We're not going to pick the house out for you. We're going to make sure you don't make really big mistakes in the purchase of this home. Does that sound like something you would want, Stephen?
Yes. And to clarify, are they building more rentals in Philadelphia than primary residence? Or shall I say housing?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not in the rental market at all, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So next is the process of how this works. If you decide to work with us today, we will start sending you properties. We'll send you a whole bunch of properties and you'll start left swiping, we call, like on Tinder. No, 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 no. Oh, maybe I'm going to heart this one. Heart, heart, heart. You might send us a list of 20 properties that you like. We'll go down according to your listed needs. If they are a good fit, we will usually narrow that down to about 10 properties, and then we'll pick 5 of those and go look at them. Then when you leave here today, if you decide to work with us, we're going to send you a copy of all the documents this transaction's going to expose you to, so that you're not signing anything in haste. We're not standing on the sidewalk and you're signing an agreement of sale that you've never seen before. We're going to send you a copy of an inspection report that's redacted. You know, the names and addresses are blanked out, but you're going to see what an inspection report looks like. So again, this is not news to you. This is not, you're feeling like you're pressured to make a decision in 24 hours because the inspection report didn't come back till late and we got to have by 5 o'clock today, we have to make this response. We're going to show you all these documents so you'll become familiar with them. Make no mistake, probably half of our clients don't ever read them, but you'll have them and you'll know what the agreement of sale looks like. You'll know what the seller's property disclosure looks like, lead-based paint, reply to inspection. You will get a copy of all those documents blank, so you know exactly what it is that you're going to sign. Do you have any idea, Stephen, how commissions work in real estate?
Not really.
Okay, almost no one does. And especially now what has been happening in the media and the commission lawsuits and NAR and Slitzer and all these lawsuits. This is how the commission process, this is the commission structure of real estate. A seller has a house and says, I want to sell the house. And they call me. They call Jack Barry. They said, Jack, come sell the house. I go, okay. We will sell your house. If we have the same conversation like this, make sure we're going to work well together. It's going to be a good fit. If we decide to do it, great. Here's the deal. We sell the house for 7% commission, and we charge $1,999 as a retainer fee. Half of that commission will get paid to the agent who brings the buyer. The percentage of me as the listing agent selling the house for the seller is less than 3%. It happens, but I've done it twice in my career. I think my numbers are gone. I don't think it's going to happen again. So the seller, in probably 90% of the time, is going to pay the buyer's commission out of the proceeds of the sale. So you'll put no money out of your pocket. Most cases, most other agents only get 3% or maybe 2.5%. They'll offer 3% or 2.5%. If it's anything less than 3%, then the buyer is responsible for making up that difference. Say we look at a property and they're only going to pay 2.5%. The Jack Barry Group doesn't work for less than 3%. So the buyer will be responsible for making up that 0.5%. In most mortgage companies that we've dealt with, you can actually wrap that into the loan, into the mortgage. Now, pause, freeze frame. We have never enforced this rule, ever. We've never made anyone pay the commission at 2.5%. We've never worked for less than 2.5%, but there's been a lot of 2.5%, especially recently. And we have always taken that, and that is another value add that we give to the client. We're like, look, they're only going 2.5%, but we're going to do it for this one. We're going to do it on this deal. So the commission is being paid by the seller, and by default, the seller's broker, the seller's agent will pay my broker the buyer side commission. Any questions, Stephen?
No.
No?
Wait, you said 1,900 up front. What, I don't explain that to me.
No, I'm sorry. I was giving you an example on the listing side when we represent sellers, not buyers.
Okay, I'm still, I mean, explain it to me, if you
Oh.
don't mind.
So I'm 7% lister plus $1,900 retainer fee. That's how we run the Jack Barry Group.
So the 1,900 comes up front.
1,900 is paid at the listing signing.
Okay. And is that taken out of the 7%, or you said
No,
plus?
that's on top. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That pays for photos and signs, marketing collateral, all those things.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm your buyer again.
Yeah.
Jack, can I ask a question before you guys move on?
No, we're going to do questions at the end, Anastasia.
Okay, it had to
Okay.
do with where you were in the point
No
of the
worries.
presentation. Thank you, sorry.
Okay. So any other questions as the buyer, Stephen?
No.
Great. One thing that we explain to buyers all the time also, Stephen, is that sometimes the buyer, if you decide to work with us, we're going to give you some business cards from the Jack Barry Group so that if you go on open houses or you're driving down the road and you see an open house, I got to go in. I'm working with Jack Barry. Here's my card. You're going to give them your realtor's card. Sometimes someone thinks that working with the listing agent directly will get them a better deal. And here's why that won't happen. The listing agent has already signed a contract. Like I said, I've signed a contract. The seller is going to pay me 7% plus $19.99. That contract is already done. The seller is not going to give me a better price because I'm using his agent. It doesn't work that way. The reality is that agent can only represent the seller in a fiduciary capacity. They cannot represent you in a fiduciary capacity. They can be a transaction agent, but the best interest of the seller are the only person the agent has duty to. So be very careful if you're out and about doing that. Any questions? Stephen?
No.
Oh, okay. And then next is the timeline, the process, how it works. All right, we're going to show you showings. We're going to show you some properties. You're going to like them. We're going to take you out. We're going to look at a couple of properties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to stand outside of every property that we look at, Stephen. We're going to turn around, look at the house and say, Stephen, are we going to make an offer on this property? You say no. We go, why not? So that we don't ever show you another property like this again. That way we don't waste your time. Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. We're going to find the house. We're going to make an offer, go back and forth, negotiations, get it under contract, engage the title company, engage the inspection company, tell the mortgage company they're going to order the appraisal. We're going to walk you all through that process. Me and my team members are going to walk you through this process every step of the way. You're going to be in contact with us almost on a daily basis for at least the first 2 weeks of the transaction. There's a lot of hurry up and wait in the beginning. Then there'll be 2 or 3 weeks of just lull. I call it limbo because I'm old. And then we'll get it clear to close. We'll go to the closing. Here's your keys. Take a photograph with Jack. Instagram. Yeehaw. And at the closing table, we tell you that our closing gift to all of our buyers is that we host your housewarming party. And we host it for up to 60 people. You give us the email list. We invite them. Ha ha ha. Oh my God. You see my database growing here. We invite neighbors. We're knocking on doors, telling people, oh, the Styles just bought the house. Come to the housewarming party next Saturday. We just introduced them to their new realtor. The mortgage company pays for half of the party. We have never paid more than $400 for a party. One of your partners will always pay half of it. It's unbelievably great business. And then that's it. We have a vast array of contractors and handyman management companies. If you decide you want to rent the property, 18 months from the day that we close, Stephen, we're going to be in contact with you all the time. But in 18 months, we're going to come to you to buy your next property. Because the only way that I know how to create wealth for other people is to help them buy properties. And we're just going to keep buying properties every 18 months. Any questions, Stephen?
No.
What do you think you want to do? Do you want to sign and work with the Jack Barry Group? Do you not want to sign and work with the Jack Barry Group?
I'm going with Jack.
Sign the dotted line. Here's your pen. Thanks a lot. See you later. Steven, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Who else do you know that needs to buy a house?
I have a couple people in mind. I'll give them your number.
How about if you just email an introduction to them to me?
Sure.
That way we could keep track of it better. I can.
Okay.
Is it okay to put your photograph today on Instagram?
Sure. If you get enough clicks and it goes viral, I want in.
Smile. Boom. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. That's it. That last part we just added about 2 years ago. The best time to get a referral or review from someone is the first time they meet you. And we're so bad. First of all, we're so bad at this as an industry, but we always wait till the end. They are never more excited than the day they met you. Ever, ever, ever. Ask your wife. Ask your husband. Think about it. So, all right, now we're open for questions. That took a little longer than it normally goes really quickly.
I'm a difficult buyer.
We can't hear you, Anastasia.
I'm sorry, I raised my hand. I didn't want to just blurt out again. I was just wondering, when you got to the part about, you mentioned about the 3%, that the buyer, 3% commission that you work for with your buyers, and if the listing agent hasn't already negotiated a certain amount, the buyer is going to be responsible for making up the difference. Now with the new laws for compensation, I guess, as opposed to commission or whatever we're calling it now, compensation, how does that conversation change, or is it still just, hey, listen, I'm expecting you to pay me 3%. Hopefully the listing agent has negotiated, and then that'll just be money you can keep in your own pocket.
Exactly. Or we will negotiate the price such that that extra 5.5%, that extra 0.5% that you are going to have to pay us, we'll get that in the sale price.
Okay, thank you.
But there have been no changes in my business. There have been no changes with all these rules that happened in the middle of whenever it was, August, and when they came into effect. I've been doing this. I've been having buyer representation agreement signed since 2008. I was not allowed in my office. We were not allowed to work with anyone who wouldn't sign up. We showed no houses. You got no access to MLS, zero. He would not allow. He was quite a trendsetter. We thought he was a jerk.
Thank you.
But let me tell you why I finally did it. I wouldn't do it in the beginning. I was fighting it. But I had someone who I showed around a weekend on Saturday and Sunday. I showed him about 12 houses, which is way too many. And then on a Monday, this agent that I knew called me and said, Jack, I'm going to send you the first page of an agreement of sale. Do you recognize this buyer? And I'm like, yes, that's my buyer. She goes, yeah, she just made an offer on this house. And I thought, I know that woman's name because you introduced me to her. Because she was quasi a friend, right? It wasn't just like a lead. Like this was somebody that I kind of knew. And I called her and I'm like, yo, Suzanne, what's going on? Oh my God, Jack, I'm so glad. We made an offer on that house you showed us on Watkins Street. I'm like, who made an offer? She goes, me and my sister. My sister's a realtor. See, she's busy. She's got a job and she has kids and stuff. And she said to just call any office. They'll show you the houses. And then my sister would write the offer. What? She goes, that's how real estate works, right? I wanted to be mad at her so bad. And I went to my broker and he was like, that's your fault. You're not mad at her. You're mad at you. You're unprofessional. He said that to me. And so I, again, called the real estate commission, Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission, to report him for being mean when he was just being honest. That never happened again to me. So I've been doing buyer representation agreements since 2008.
That was a powerful lesson. One other thing, I am a believer in you know, people investing upfront. I love the retainer thing on the listing side. How would you suggest finessing that on the buyer side too? Because sometimes people are expecting you to show them 1,000 houses and like, listen, I'm agreeing to show you X amount. My time is worth this. How can we finesse a upfront retainer on the buy side?
Oh, yeah. So I left that out. We charge $7.95 to buyers.
Upfront
No, not up front. We let them pay that at the table.
at the table. Okay.
Yeah. But we
Thank you.
tell them we're not, you know, maximum you're going to see is 10 homes, maximum.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to disqualify the property. I'm like, you told me you didn't want spiral staircase. This house has a wooden spiral staircase. It was built in 1860 when they didn't have words like happy hour. If you buy a house with wooden spirals, you cannot drink. You can't do it. And they're like, oh, here's the deal. Most people have never had, no one's ever spoken to them honestly in their lives until they get to us. And make no mistake, 14% of the people don't want to work with us. I am okay with that. We're a little too like, oh no. We're like, okay, great. Thank you. Because I got 3 more of these appointments today. High options, low fear. Low options, high fear. That means I got to lead generate. Big lead generate. Questions? I don't know. I can't see hands raised. Do you see that, Donna? I don't know.
I don't see any hands raised.
Can I repeat the whole thing? Who said that? No one? What are your favorite lead generation tactics? Okay. Oh, I love this. I love lead generation because I hated it for so long. And that was because I didn't know what to say. Right now, we are hitting it out. We are hitting home runs down here all over the place. I am not a fan of Zillow. I have never purchased a lead ever in 17 years of real estate. I know people, right? I'm not shy. I don't know if you got that out of this presentation. So I can go generate business, but we have two of my mentees down here. Open Zillow, open Google. In Google, put FSBO, for sale by owner, Zillow, Venice, Florida. And the page opened to Zillow, and it says there's 46 homes for sale by owner in Venice, Florida. Guess what? It gives their phone number. And that's the phone call is very simple. This takes a week. The phone call is, hello, I'm calling about the property I saw in Zillow, 123 Main Street. Is that still for sale? Yes. My name's Jack. I'm a real estate agent. If I bring a buyer, will you pay a buyer side commission? Yes. Thanks. And hang up. Immediately hang up. We love to talk, realtors. We love to talk our ways out of business, ourselves out of business. Hang the phone up. Call them back exactly 2 days later. Yo, Bob, this is Jack Barry again. Keller Williams, your property still for sale? Yeah. You're still paying a commission? Yes. You said you're paying 4%. Is that what I heard the other day? I didn't say that. I'm not paying 4%. That is a diversionary tactic. All right. What are you willing to pay, Bob? 3%. Think about the psychology of this, folks. Why is someone selling a house by themselves, for sale by owner? The majority of them are selling because they think they're going to save money. If you get them to say that they're willing to pay an agent, that's 50% of the battle is over. They just gave up 50% of their stand. Stupid realtors. I don't need a realtor to sell a house. Well, you're going to pay half of it. Great, Bob. Listen, your house is in South Venice, and on Fridays, I'm in South Venice, 11 a.m. Can I come see the property real quick? My clients will be in on Sunday, and I have to tell them all the properties that we're not going to look at. What? What do you mean not look at? Wait, you want to buy this house? Bobby, you're going to be there on Friday, 11 o'clock or not? Can I come see the house? I'll be there 5 minutes. Just walk through. I don't know. All right, bye. Wait. No, I'll be there. It's the takeaway. We have a ridiculous, I have this kid, he's 20 years old, 20 years old. He got 3 listings in the last 6 weeks doing this. It's not hard, but you got to do it. And every single day, he's on Zillow. He's looking for FSBOs. That would be the first way to get business if I were lead generating. If I needed to get buyers, and buyers are always the easier way into real estate, we had ridiculous success with first-time home buyer seminars. We don't do them here because we have no first-time home buyers here. My average sale price in my county right now is $781,000, 72% cash buy. There's no entry market here. People coming with bags of money. They're selling their house up north, coming down here, buying a big house. But in Philadelphia, we did first-time home buyer seminars. I did it at a hair salon. My boyfriend, now husband, cut hair. And I'm sitting in the salon one day and I look around and there's 10 cutters, 10 stylists. Who has a deeper relationship with their clients than hairstylists? The hairstylist knows before the husband does that he's getting divorced. You know, they know that they're selling the house before the wife does. The hairstylist knows this stuff. I'm just aware of things, right? I hear stuff. So I said, I went to the desk and I said, hey, where do these cutters go get where do they go for lunch? Oh, JJ's. JJ's Thai was on Chestnut Street. I go to JJ's Thai to buy gift cards. It turns out JJ Thai restaurant is owned by this Italian guy from South Philly. He's cooking Thai food. That's another story. I said, yo, you know the girls, all the girls from the cutters from Siani Salon? He goes, yeah. I said, they come here for, oh, love them. They come here all the time. I'm like, listen, I want to buy them some gift cards. I want to give them a little lunch. What can you do for me? Oh, he gives me 20% off. I buy $20 gift cards for every hair cutter. And I said, yo, and I went to the guy that owns the salon. I said, yo, Rick, on Mondays you're closed, right? He said, yeah. I said, I want to do a little joint marketing with you. I'm going to have a seminar here in your salon and we'll do all the marketing. He reached into his pocket and he gave me a key to this. He goes, okay, great. Sounds great to me. I don't have time for any of that crap. Gave me a key. We did the salon. We marketed it out. All of the cutters told all their friends. It was about 18 days of marketing. And then we started targeted marketing, first-time home buyers, targeting renters who lived in the area. We did all this digitally. We did not spend more than $200 doing this. 14 people came to our first-time homebuyer seminar. And we eventually sold 3 houses, total of $300,000. You could do this at a barbershop. You could do this anywhere. Having a first-time homebuyer seminar in a real estate office is a little too salesy. It's a little too used cars salesman, right? So we do it off premises. And there's plenty of places to do it. Do it at your church. Oh my God. I got a guy, he came in yesterday. He's a single dad, just got his real estate license. He's none of my friends have enough money to buy houses. I'm like, I know. They're all getting divorced. Go to the little league game where your kid's playing. You're going to sell their houses. They got no money because they're going to lose their house in divorce. Be their guy. You're a single dad with a kid who plays baseball. Go infiltrate that crowd. Holy crap. PTA. Oh my God. HOA. Personally, I have 26 Facebook groups that we've started. Now I don't run them. I have VA. I have 3 VAs that do all kinds of stuff. I started a Facebook group, Washington Square West Homeowners Only. They had their civic association. They had 800 people in it, but it was renters and business owners, and they let anybody in. Washington Square West Homeowners Only. The first requirement is that you have to have a photo. I've got to be able to see who you are. You're not getting in my group if I don't know who you are. And number 2, no realtors. It's my group. Start your own group. And all I do is put things in there like, the property of the, what's it called in Philadelphia? The home, the real estate tax. I forget, down here it's a homestead, whatever you get to get your, if you live in the property. A lot of people think that that's income based and they don't apply for it. They just don't. So I put the form, I go like, yo, you need the form? Email me, direct message me. I'll send it to your house. I'll actually come by. They just met their new realtor. I'm the guy. Go to the Civic Association meeting. Go to the dog park. Oh my God, in my office, Aaron, this guy was genius. He really thought Fishtown Dog Park. He went there for 8 months. Every day he went to the Fishtown Dog Park every day for 8 months. At 8 months, some woman came up to him and said, "You don't have a dog, do you?" He said, "No." He said, "I'm interviewing. I want to see what kind of dog I want." Trying to figure it out. He was getting business there. He actually got 3 dates and 1 house. He sold 1 house and 3 dates. And he didn't have a dog. That's my point. You have to think outside the box a little bit, just a little bit. Like I said, I'm not smart, but I watch what people do and they all leave clues. Success leaves clues. All I got to do is just a little bit. Find one thing and do it every single day. Every single day. Do it. All right, we got 1 minute. Anybody? All right, Donna, I'm going to email you my sheet. Is that how it works? And then you could email to them?
Yes.
I'll put my email here in case anybody has questions. I don't know if you've figured it out yet. I like to talk.
Jack, what Florida areas are you in again?
So I live in Sarasota County. It's a little town called Venice. It is the Stone Harbor of Southwest Florida. You could walk to the beach from our downtown. I live 6 minutes from my office, and then my office is 2 minutes from the beach. Like at lunchtime, I walk to the beach here. Nobody gets stressed in Florida. The only reason I come back up north is because there's a very big shortage of turn signal fluid down here. So I come up to Pennsylvania, buy a couple cases of it, and bring it down for all these old people down here. Also, the average age is 68 where I live. So I'm fabulous. At 62, I am fabulous down here. They're all 68 years old, walking around with canes, no turn signals. All right, I'm on there. Folks, have a great day. Email me, call me, whatever you need.
Thanks, Jack. Good to see you.
Thank you,
here's the
Jack
plug.
Barry.
GPAR.
so
I would not be
much.
where I'm at if it wasn't for GPAR. Think about this. GPAR, Pennsylvania Association, the National Association, these are the people that fight on the front lines for real estate. They do the business of real estate, right? With Donna and Cheryl and Matt do. If it wasn't for them, I would not be where I'm at today. So think about that. When our pack comes around, when we're doing the fundraisers, we need engagement. We need you people to pay. We need to pay for the voice that we need. So please contribute. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Jack Barry. We hope you
Love you, Donna. See you, Cheryl.
We miss you.